Welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please make sure to check out the website femyoga.com. This channel is 100% funded and supported and made possible by viewers like you. So thank you so much for making this show possible. I don't know what episode we're on, maybe episode 4-ish, 5, of me and my friend Ed, South Jersey Broker, you may know him as on Periscope, and we are going to be talking about the 67 Steps program by Tai Lopez. I actually don't even know if he still offers this program or not. I think he does, and if he does, I highly recommend the program to anyone. I finished it sometime earlier this year. Hey, K&M, or maybe late last year. I can't remember when we started. All right, whatever. I'm going to bring Ed on. So thank you to everyone who sponsors this channel. I really, really appreciate it. Asha, hello. CG, hello. And Ed, are you ready? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, Ed's not going to be able to see comments. So I'm going to bring him on. In 3, 2, 1. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey.
Hey. How are you?
What's going on? Great.
We're live. We made it. I mean, we're only a few minutes late, so it's not too
6
bad.
minutes. We're 6 minutes late. We did it.
I know. That's not too bad. I mean, I've been later with other people. So, hi, Lou. Hey, Joey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, DJ. Okay, so do you remember what step we're on?
10?
11.
11. Okay. 11.
11, yes. We did 10 last time. So last time you did 8 push-ups, I did 9, you did 10. So I think I have to do 11 push-ups now. First step. 11 out of the 67 steps. I should probably take this off, actually. And I'm going to do push-ups. And it's going to make me feel better because I've been kind of stressed out and a little bit irritable today. So it's going to help me. If you want to do push-ups too, you can. But I don't even know if we're going to be able to see you do push-ups.
No, I can read it.
Lou, what does that even mean? Lou said finally some class on this channel. Alright, so, I don't know if you're going to be able to see me. If you guys know Tai Lopez, will you invite him and tell him that this is happening and tell him that I need to meet him in June when I come to LA? Thanks! Oh my god, this is going to be amazing. I don't know how much of me you can even see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I survived. Woo, yes. All right, getting the blood flowing to my brain. Oh my god, I already feel better. Those endorphins being released. Happy hormones.
There we go.
Bring myself here. Okay. So, 11 push-ups for step 11. And step 11, as Tai calls it, is the whispers of 10,000 generations, Dunbar's 150, and evolutionary mismatch. So, what that means is, so evolutionary mismatch. Have you ever heard that term before, Ed?
No, evolutionary mismatch.
Yeah, I've only heard it from Tai before, and it basically means that we evolved as humans and as animals to be fit for things that aren't really, they haven't caught up to the advances of technology and science. So our instincts, our sometimes people will call it like your human nature, your reptile brain, your instinctive kind of way, the chimp in that book, and how it's kind of a mismatch because we don't really live in the same kind of conditions we used to live when we were going through our stages of evolution. And since we found science, reason, technology, it's kind of like we're waiting for evolution to catch up. So what I took away from this, I actually called it, step 11, I called it evolutionary mismatch, but I put willpower. Because, yeah, DJ said he's heard of this. Cool. Hey, Trevor. Hey, Zen. I'm a little out of breath for my stupid 11 push-ups. But it actually does make me feel a lot better. I feel good.
You did 11, too. You didn't struggle.
Trevor says hi. I know.
Hey,
I did
Trevor.
struggle. Like, it was actually pretty good in the beginning. I noticed that they're faster than they normally were, but then at like 9, 10, and 11 were a struggle.
Yeah, that's the trick to the push-ups. Do them fast so you don't burn your arms out. Like, real quick.
Yeah, I tried, but I don't know. Thanks for sharing on Twitter, inviting your followers, Trevor. So what I took as a practical, so that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So, we might have natures that are a little contrary to the lifestyles that we want to live nowadays. Thank you for the first Super Hearts of the broadcast, Trevor. Ooh, I feel my arms. Oh, I feel strong. All right. Is willpower. Controlling yourself, controlling impulses, reactions. Actually, Ed and I earlier were talking about, reacting before you should. Like when you're having an emotional response, kind of waiting until you respond to someone, say they send you an email and you don't want to like react. You don't want to write an angry email back like, well, screw you, block. You want to kind of wait until, Trevor's like, let the stress out. It felt really good, actually. So in this case, instinctively as like a territorial animal, your instinct might be to just fight back, get defensive, and kind of react emotionally. But I think we all know, anyone who's at least close to being an adult or is an adult, probably know that it's best to wait until you're not feeling emotional to react or respond to something. And that's kind of just one of millions of examples that you could give of where willpower is beneficial, like getting up early to go to the gym, making sure you're drinking enough water, making sure that you're making healthy eating choices as opposed to junk food, controlling your kind of weakest impulses, I guess. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, the emails in business too, when we get an email we want to respond to immediately, there's a rule. You type up the email you want to send, and then you go away for like 2 hours, and then you come back. And then you read it, and then you see if you still agree with it. If you do, hit send. If you don't, delete it and start over. So that's my general rule of thumb.
That's so true. There's so many times I read back emails that I sent to someone, and I'm like, wow, I probably should have waited a little bit before I sent that.
But you know what the importance of typing it is? So one of the books I read said don't respond to anything, but I found that by typing it, you literally get to say what you want to say, and you let it digest, and then you get to regret it, and then you get to change it.
Yeah,
So
right. And that's
totally...
actually, I don't know if you prefer verbal or written communication in business, but I always prefer written communication because of that.
Yeah, I prefer verbal. Like if somebody sends me like something heated, I prefer to call them. And you know what else that does? It diffuses it, because most people don't have the same balls in a phone conversation or in person as they do, in email.
Interesting. Okay, that's probably true. I just hate talking on the phone personally. But also,
Well,
go ahead.
Have you ever sent someone like a text, and then they start to send you a text back, and you can tell it's like more heated than it should be? And if you stop right there and call them, it immediately turns. So instead of like escalating.
I wouldn't answer that call.
You would avoid. Yeah, but that gives the other person the leg up if you avoid it completely. Because then it's like you're like blowing me up by text, but you're not going to answer my call.
See, that's the thing, is if I'm feeling emotional, I wouldn't do the text thing. That was more when I was younger. But it's like if I'm in an emotional state, I'm not going to answer the phone and like get into a. My family is not afraid of having verbal confrontation, so I guess I'm not really. I don't think that talking to them is any less likely to become some type of argument. It is. It's hard to pick up intonation, tone, the vibe in written communication. So that's true. Zen says it's clearer in verbally. I think he's talking about.
It is. It's hard to explain things sometimes when it's in writing, and also people they're pretty bad with punctuation and stuff, so you tend to miss the way they're trying to get it across sometimes. So it is better sometimes to just have a conversation when it's heated. If it's nice, and you mess up. When it's like a heated conversation, the last thing you want to do is miss like a comma.
Yeah.
There goes the conversation.
Oh my gosh. Nick said, "Oh my God, Ed, that shirt looks fantastic."
Nick, you like this shirt? I was in a suit and tie earlier. I just stripped all this down.
I know, you look so fancy, and now you're like back to normal Ed that comes on the show.
Oh, good. I only do this stuff for...
Vipul said, things found together. Moon and stars, Monday and procrastination. What did you just hold up? Ed and the crappy mic.
I have nothing to say this week because I'm on my cell phone, actually, because of technical difficulties and forgetting a laptop. It's not fun.
Nick says you're looking good. Nick, you're not even going to compliment my shirt? That's rude. What about mine?
Nick, don't feel pressured to compliment Taylor just because you're complimenting me.
If you don't
I mean,
compliment
I
me,
can,
sure, you're getting blocked.
Nick, I will unblock you and reinvite you.
Yes. Thank you. This broadcast is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Thanks, Trevor. He held up a G-string. That's what I thought. What was that, a jockstrap?
No,
Oh, it was the tie.
it's the tie.
Oh,
just,
you have to watch my replay from my last replay, and then you have to do the hand coordination movements with the tie. No, not like that. You gotta hold it like that. And then you gotta, like, I don't know, I forget exactly. You gotta, like, whip it around and then catch it, and then whip it around and then catch it, and whip it around and catch it. No, just with one hand. Sonam's on YouTube saying, "Let's get naked."
Let's get naked. New show coming to Periscope soon. Nick in a pillow.
It better be on the Fem Yoga channel.
It could be.
No, you don't get your own channels. I'm blocking.
You have to buy the licensing right.
This is ridiculous.
For Nick in a pillow.
Ed's so much louder than me? Are you serious? Why?
Really? Oh, I feel so self-conscious today with it. On the phone.
Is that better? Turn him down. Say some more things, please. Hey, Steve. Can you say more things?
I'm just teasing. Yeah, okay, so is this better?
Is that better, you guys? Is that more balanced? Sana wants to know if we're on step 45 yet.
No, we're on step 10.
11.
We're
talking about evolutionary mismatch and self-control, willpower. And then another part that he talked about in here, which I didn't really know as a practical takeaway, but it is something interesting that he included, which is, the whispers of 10,000 generations. That means you have to have respect for your ancestry and know that it took 10,000 generations to get you to where you are today, and that there's probably a lot of wisdom that can be derived from that, but also evolutionary mismatch, like we just talked about a lot. And then Dunbar's 150. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Ed's still much louder, Andy says. Trevor says sounds better now.
I'm not even talking loud. I'm talking normal.
I know, it is like registering off the charts here. It's just because of the bad microphone, I think. It just like, it peaks. It like goes really loud. So I turned it down more, I don't know. So Dunbar, Robin Dunbar was a anthropologist and evolutionary psychologist, and his fame largely focuses on one number, and that number is 150. And his theory was that one person could have meaningful relationships, like actual intimate relationships, with 150 individuals. And that was kind of the number that he said that we could kind of live with. And that's, so this evolutionary mismatch, like on Fem Yoga, we get hundreds of thousands of views every month. It's like, but you can only have, if you can really only have a strong connection with 150 people, it kind of puts that into perspective on how many people you know and have met, but how many people you're actually going to connect with and have a real relationship with.
Yeah, and I'm aware of that because we talk about that in prospecting all the time. When we talk about sphere of influence, we limited it at 150 for that exact reason.
Are you trying to talk quieter?
No, I'm talking normal.
You're talking normal now? Now you sound quiet to me. I didn't even turn you down in my ears. Okay. Let's see. So then I actually found something that said the fallacy of Dunbar's 150. And it says the average Facebook user has 338 friends. On LinkedIn, it's over 500. And network-focused professionals will add around 250 new contacts every year. So they're basically saying, this person's argument is basically that you could be connected with a lot more than 150 people in a pretty meaningful way. And I personally would agree with that also, considering how many people I interact with on a daily basis.
Keep in mind when they created that whole concept, I don't think there was social media. I think it was really...
What happened to... Did you cover up your microphone?
No, I haven't changed anything.
You're like, I can barely hear you at all now.
Really?
I just turned your mic all the way back up and now...
How about now?
No, it's worse. Now
Really?
It's like nothing. Now I hear absolutely nothing.
Changed anything.
It's the quietest thing I've ever heard. You need to do something. You need to blow on it or something.
Oh, Did that do anything? Do anything?
No! Why
Wait,
is it so quiet? This day is the day from hell.
Can I plug this into the phone?
Can you plug that into the phone? I don't know, can you? You won't be able to have your headphones in it anymore. Yeah, his sound just dropped out, right, Andy? That was weird. No, Monkey Bombs. Monkey Bomb says, you're hot when you talk smart. I'd like to have relations with you. I think he's talking to you. He said, hello, doll.
I'm all for that.
I wish I could hear you. Sonam said she has over 800 Facebook friends, but she doesn't think bots count as friends. It is Friday the 13th. Oh, Friday the 13th! That's why!
There it is. There it is.
Ed, what are we going to do?
Let me disconnect and I'll plug it.
Oh, we just got disconnected on OBS. Oh my god. You just flipped. Oh, okay. Bye. That was just me and a picture of Ed.
Is that any better?
No. And now your face looks weird. It's like all squished.
I'm gonna exit it. I'm gonna exit it completely. And then I'm gonna come back in.
Okay. I'm gonna sit here and wait. Sorry guys, OBS also crashed. He said he was gonna disconnect and then OBS crashed. So we're just gonna keep rocking it. This is how you reach your goals. This is how you attain success. Incremental, consistent growth. There's gonna be off days, there's gonna be down days, but it's all good. You just keep doing what you gotta do, keep putting the work in, and you'll reach the goal you're working towards. Error 404, Ed not found.
How are we doing
that? Nope, still not good.
Really?
Jeopardy theme song, yeah. That's weird, it was perfectly fine this whole time. And it wasn't from my changing the audio, because that doesn't affect what's being affected here. And I turned that all the way back up. Did YouTube crash? We all crashed. OBS crashed. Hi, John. John says hi.
Hey, John.
He's mad.
Nothing? Can't hear me at all?
I mean, I can hear you, but it's extremely quiet. Tiff, I'm using OBS with Periscope Producer, and then we're on a Hangouts call, a video call. So I just have the window capture for the Google Hangouts on, and I just basically cropped it so that me and him are both on the screen. Yeah, John's like, he mad. Yeah, he's mad.
Give me a sec. The computer's working now, so maybe I'll switch over.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking.
While we're talking.
DJ said, can't handle the fem yoga. What, Ed? Yeah, Ed can't handle this.
Can't handle it. Too much pressure.
What's funny is that I was the mad one when we first got on the call. And he was like, you look mad. And now I can be like, no, you look mad. I look happy.
This is my method of cheering you up. I'll be mad, you be happy.
Well, thank you. I do feel cheered up, but I wish that we could hear you, because that would make for a much better show.
It's coming.
Oh, you're turning the computer on?
Yeah, I'm loading it up.
Okay, well, I'm just going to, blah, 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 like I normally do anyway, and we're just going to pretend like we can hear you. Thank you for sharing, Trevor. Okay. I think we're ready for step 12. Why don't you just drop and give me 12?
Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah? Yay! That's so exciting.
Oh, I am breaking stuff. All right,
okay, so we have 12 push-ups coming to us live from New Jersey. South Jersey Broker. The man, the myth, the legend. Hey, Greg. He's trying to figure out how he's going to set up his phone so we can see him. You're time-stamping his disappearance? Why, Trevor? This is a professional show. There would never be a disappearance. Just put it on the floor.
Can you see me?
I mean, right now I can. Yeah. You don't want it up higher. Thank you, Gilo, for the super hearts. Gilo likes it. He's excited to see these push-ups. He's like, bring it on, Ed. Get on the floor. Get on your hands and knees. Do some push-ups.
We're going to make this work.
Hey, JJ. John's like, this does not look good.
I got this.
I'm liking it. I get to just sit here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're good.
He's got his headphones in. It's just your face doing push-ups. Okay.
Ready? Ready? Here goes.
Okay, we're ready.
Just,
We're ready.
Just
12.
my face.
One,
Oh, I lost again.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes!
Okay.
Now you
12.
get to be winded.
I'm not winded. That's
Someone
only
said
12.
keep it steady, Eddie.
I'm ready for 60.
Does anyone call you Eddie in your life?
Not really. My grandma used to.
Oh, your grandma?
Mhm.
Is your grandma not around anymore?
Nah.
Oh. Nick said that's not push-ups, you're just nodding your head.
No, that was definitely a push-up.
They were push-ups. We could see your shoulders. No, they were push-ups.
All messed
Now it's really triggered. John, I already did
If
my
you
11. I have to do 13 on the next step, so don't
If you
get
could see
too
what I'm
excited.
juggling over here to make this happen right now, you'd understand.
I can't really hear you still, just so you know, so hopefully the computer's still in the process.
Coming.
Okay, cool. So step 12, Ed did 12 push-ups, and the step 12 that Tai's title is Mike's Stack of Resumes, my 96-year-old grandma, which is amazing because Ed just mentioned his grandma 1 second ago, and your Eularian destiny. Now, I have no idea really what Mike's Stack of Resumes or 96-year-old grandma really means. I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched this step. But I do know what the Eularian destiny is. Ed does need a beer. John says you need a beer. Ed, do you have a beer? You need to get one. Yes.
I need one. Oh, cool.
We should all have a beer after this. I already have to go to the bathroom anyway, so a beer's not going to help. So Eularian destiny, does anyone know what that is? It's basically 4 concentric circles that all overlap in one common area in the middle, which we call your Eularian destiny. I don't know if everyone calls it that or if it's just Thai, and I don't actually know if it's pronounced Eularian or Eularian. I've heard people say Eularian. I don't like it. I like Eularian better. We're going with that. I just posted on my Twitter page, Fem Yoga Taylor. You can see my my blog post that I did actually in 2016, which shows how long it took me to get through the 67 steps, which is about the Eularian destiny. So I'm actually going to pull it up on the screen, if that's cool with you, Ed. Are you computering? What are you doing? You're leaving? Okay, you leave. I can hear you a little bit, but yes, okay. You go. You go now. And I'm going to go to my blog post. Actually, I'm going to go to my Twitter page. Hey, Vaz, I haven't seen you in forever. How you been? Going to my Twitter page, and I'm going to look at my most recent tweets, which was about this broadcast, and Eularian Destiny. Okay, now my most recent tweet. My most recent tweet is this broadcast. All right. So let's open it up and see if I can get it on the screen. Where is it? Oh, this? No. This? There it is. And boom. Okay. So it doesn't look great, but let's see if I can just make it bigger.
Can you see?
I kind of hear you in the background.
Okay, hold on.
It's really quiet. Okay, so this is my blog post on my website, femyoga.com. And this was October 10th, 2016. Crazy. All right. So these are the 4 circles. 1, what did you grow up around? 2, stranger feedback. 3, what can you talk effortlessly about? And 4, the last 10 years. So I'm going to read my little blog post here while we fill up time while Ed figures out how to get back on the screen or get his audio back. In an increasingly globalized world, you may wonder where you fit in. What's the thing that you could legitimately be the best or one of the best in the world at? Our competition is more available than ever to our potential clients and employers, so how do we find our niche? You may have heard the saying, the smaller the niche, the bigger the rich. I do think there is some truth to this. Let's dive in. So you do it yourself. Do this at home, you guys. Draw 4 concentric circles, like a double Venn diagram, with one overlapping segment in the middle. That centerpiece is your Eularian destiny. The word Eulerian comes from a mathematical concept meaning it touches all sides. Okay, so the 4 circle categories. What did you grow up around? That's 1. 2 is stranger feedback. What do other people compliment you on? Humans aren't the best at self-analysis. We can see other people's strengths and weaknesses more easily. So what do other people comment about you? For me, it's my smile. A lot of random people will just always say, oh my God, you have such a nice smile. So that's one thing. What did you grow up around? You know, what are some common themes? And I don't mean common, I just mean like what were common themes of your childhood? You don't have to worry about looking for overlap in these 4 categories. Just go ahead and just write down things. It's just brainstorming, and you'll start to see the overlapping trends. 3, what can you talk effortlessly about? Like me and Ed, it's business. And then number 4, what have you been doing for the last 10 years? The younger you are, the more gray this question becomes because it overlaps with number 1 about, you know, what you grew up around. When you found your obvious common pieces, pull them out and turn them into your destiny and then write it down. What's interesting to me is I had not thought about this since October of 2016, basically. And it says, to be effective at explaining this to others, be sure it is 20 words or less. And I got mine to 8 words. And I hadn't thought about this until today when I was preparing for this broadcast. Infusing humor and technology into unconventional management techniques. And then I wrote a little note. I know it has nothing, yes, Alex. I know it has nothing to do with yoga, but I didn't grow up around yoga, so it did not make the cut. And then 2 tools that assisted me in this discovery were free online personality tests. 1 was the Hexaco test, and 2 was the VIA character strengths test. And then I put, I discovered this concept from a guy I highly recommend checking out, Tai Lopez, Get His 67 Steps program. So this is linked right on my Twitter page if you guys want to. I don't know what's going to happen when I turn this off. I don't know if Ed's going to be there or not. No, he's not. So you can go into my Twitter page, Fem Yoga Taylor, and you can click right into the blog post. And that way there's links to Tai Lopez's website. There's links to those 2 free personality tests, the Hexaco test and the VIA personality strengths test. So yeah, feel free to use all those free resources. I think I'm going to switch back over to just me on the screen until we find Ed. We'll hear him come back though. Nice, yes, awesome stuff. And I think I have to interrupt this broadcast for a brief moment to say, hey, did someone just send money to the channel? Why, yes, they did. Mr. Derek, it's so good to have you back. Derek came in last night and sent some super hearts. Where is he? I thought he was right at the top. There he is. Durwood. And he just sent another $10 at the website, femyoga.com, by clicking support. It's our first sponsorship of the day, I think. Yes. Dan sent $1 last night, but it was before midnight, so. I hear him. Do you guys hear him? I hear something. Do you guys hear that? Oh, I see you. No, I only heard you for a second. I see you, but I don't hear you at all. Click your Google Hangout settings and make sure it's connected to the Blue Yeti microphone. Thank you, Derek. There you. Oh, I didn't put the _67 on your name. Whoops. Let's put it on there now. Let's put it on there right now, and let's just change it to 15 right now because we're the boss and we can do this when we want to do it. Boom. I still don't hear you.
How about now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I hear me now.
Yes. Oh,
Derek.
Hang on. I'm going to mute you because it's sounding kind of crunchy. Yeah, so Derek, thank you. Oops, I missed that, Alex. I'm going to catch it on the next comment. I'm going to scroll back. All right, so let's get Ed back on the screen. His knees are bent. Oh, his knees are bent, Sonam said for the for the push-ups. Okay, so we have one slight issue here, which is that there's 2 Eds in here. Did you hang up on the other one? Your other Ed face is like still in here, which means he's on the screen. Let me try to leave and come back. Sorry, guys. We'll get it. It's Friday the 13th. We're just going to blame all the issues on that today. And thank you, Derek. Derek is supporting this channel and making it possible to prevent stuff like this from happening in the future. Okay, so we're calling him back. We're in the call. There's just me and him. There's only one Ed. This is good. I hear him. Are you sure it's connected to the Blue Yeti microphone? Yeah? It doesn't sound great. Ooh. Are you tapping on it? Yeah, don't tap on us really loud. It is that though, but make sure the wires and everything are good in the back. Because it's like doing that clicky thing. Okay, now talk. You can hear your own self? Okay. It's coming in very robotic. I'm going to bring you on the screen now and let everyone hear you and decide what they think. Boom! There's Ed! Yay! He's back.
Hey, I'm back.
I'm back.
Maybe.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Can you see if they can test our volume for us?
Yeah, how's the volume, you guys? Oh, wait, I said I was going to go back and read... Hi, Pliny! I was going to read Alex's comment, and I didn't. There's some tricky, witchy stuff afoot, right? Exactly. I think I missed it, Alex. I'm sorry. I thought it was Alex, unless it was JJ, in which case I did see your comment. And now... You probably didn't hear anything about step 12 yet, right? The Eulerian Destiny?
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
Okay, so it's the overlap of 4 concentric circles. The first is what you grew up around. So for me, like, my family always liked to play games. They're always into a lot of humor. I grew up with a single mom, so I just kind of wrote this stuff down. So the way I didn't actually do it in circles. I just wrote the 4 categories, and I just kind of like brainstormed a little list for each one. And then once you have all 4 brainstormed out, you'll start to notice there's overlapping commonalities, and where all 4 overlap is what they call your Eulerian destiny, and it's basically Eulerian is Euler, whatever his name was. I know, we made it to step 12, Amy. Hang on, I got you a little, I feel like you're a little.
Wait,
here.
Where was the Dunbar thing? Was that 11 or was that 12?
Dunbar was 11.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Oh no, real quick. I think we were talking about right before I got all messed up. The fact that you were saying that you think you can handle more than 150 relationships. The idea behind the Dunbar was that it was before social media, so it was basically that was personal relationships. Like, how many personal relationships can I maintain? How many people can I remember their birthday? How many people can I have a meaningful relationship and meet with them once in a while? Things like that. With social media, I do believe it's kind of changed. I don't know if that really. So I agree with you when you were saying it can be expanded based on like today's current stuff.
Right, with technology, because it's like I can send a message out to like 50 people at once. You couldn't do that back in the day, so it's changed. Trevor! And also you missed Derek sending $10 to the channel while we were having technical difficulties, and now Trevor
Sweet.
Wait, where did this come from? Oh yeah, Kieran. Wait, Kieran, did you just do that? What time is it? No, this is a while ago. Did I already know that this happened? What's happening right now? Trevor, where'd you go? There you are. Thank you. Okay, I said you were the first sponsor, Derek. I was wrong. It was actually Kieran. And then now Trevor, too. So that's $35 between you guys. Thank you so much. You're making this day feel
awesome.
A lot brighter. Yes.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting our technical difficulties today, among other things.
Yes. Presents! Thank you, Trevor. Now you don't need to remember birthdays. Oh my god, that's so true. Zen, that's the best comment, because just yesterday I reached out to an old friend I used to work with, and I told her happy belated birthday because I noticed her birthday was on Monday because my Google Calendar, not because I remembered. And she was like, oh wow, thank you so much. Like she was very impressed with me basically for remembering it, but I didn't have to remember it because Google remembered it for me. So that's kind of another example of how things have changed. Are you feeling OCD?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm fine. We're all good.
Good. So what did you grow up around? The next one is stranger feedback. So that means what other people say about you, what other people compliment you on. Thank you, Trevor. Trevor says, support Fem Yoga. Yeah, femyoga.com. The link is in my profile. And that because the argument is that we're really not great self-analysts. We don't really know ourselves as well as other people know us, because it's just easy to see we know every single thing we think and feel, but we don't express all of that, and we don't act on everything. So we know that we're this complex, really, really complex individual, but to the outside world, we come across a certain way. We show up for people in a certain way. They know us as, the person who does this and that and the other thing, and you can actually get feedback from them that's really, really beneficial. We talked about that with the Miracle Morning, that email at the end where you ask everyone some areas of improvement that they see for you, things that they think you could be better at or get better at. You don't have to remember the names of people you just meet. I do. I'm pretty good at remembering names, though, I think. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you. Oh, Ed! You made it to the broadcast.
I'm here.
Look at us. I feel like we just started.
43 minutes in. You can timestamp this. This is now when the broadcast begins.
43 minutes? What do you mean 43 minutes?
All right, 40 minutes. I was late by 5, whatever.
Oh, yeah, you're saying 3:43. Hello, Guy. Are you a broker? Nicholas wants to know.
What's that?
Are you a broker? Nicholas wants to know.
Am I a broker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a broker. A residential real estate broker.
Thank you, Vipul. He says the quality of the discussion counteracts any technical difficulties.
Hey, we appreciate that.
I have to pee. I'm going to go pee. You take over, okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the comments right now. Oh, wait, now I can see comments. I think we're good.
Okay, good, yeah. All right, Ed's taking over. Bye.
All right, so does anybody know how I can disconnect Tyler completely? We'll just disconnect our window, and we'll take over. Actually, while she's going pee, we're going to keep fixing our technical difficulties on this side. Slowly but surely. All right. You guys just type a comment. I'm actually trying to see if I can see your comments. I'm having all kinds of issues today. Mm-hmm.
Are you just sitting here not talking?
No, I was trying to see if I could see comments, but like I can see my comments.
Back in the situation. Comment? Oh, you can't see comments?
No, I was trying to see if I could see them, but it's not working. So
you can't see them? I see
Nope.
you in the broadcast. That's weird. How is it not working? What the hell's happening?
Whew.
Yes.
Sorry, we got it.
Mm-hmm. And luckily I already kind of asked Ed if we could get a little extra time from him today, so we're already going to be running past our normal hour at 4 o'clock anyway, so there's no rush.
We needed every minute of that extra time.
We need the extra time really badly. Oh, CJ says hello to you in the broadcast because he can't see.
Hey, CJ, I'm gonna come in on my phone so I can actually see this.
Awesome. Oh yeah, that's what I thought you were doing. You were on your computer?
Yeah, but it was slowing down everything, so this is better.
Cool. Awesome. Good. All right. So we're talking about Eularian Destiny, and I'm going to repeat a little bit because Ed actually wasn't here.
I missed a lot of the broadcast, but I'm here now.
So we talked about stranger feedback. So for me, like I said, what I grew up around was humor, games, fun, and then something that a lot of strangers compliment me on is my smile, just as one example. It's something that I would never say, oh, I have this great, amazing smile, but so many other people have commented on it, including just random strangers in parking lots and stuff, that I kind of assume that it's a thing about me that stands out to people. And again, I wouldn't have analyzed that about myself, but stranger feedback kind of made me realize that that's a benefit. And if I can put myself in a position where I can be smiling at my customers, that's probably going to benefit all of us. Thank you, Nicholas. And then the third one, okay, so we did what you grew up around, stranger feedback. What?
Sorry, I'm responding to comments. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you can respond. Thank you, Nicholas. I just feel a little off center here. Okay. Yeah. I forget what the third thing is, but I have it open on the screen still, so let's go back to it. It is, what can you talk effortlessly about? Again, for me, I pretty much, if someone's cracking jokes and just basically, like, I like socializing, I like humor, all of that. I'm trying to find just a commonality in each of the four, just to give you an example. So that's one thing for me that I can really just be, it's effortless for me to consume, and I don't know that I'm the funniest person in the world, but I'd like to think that I have some humor, and I could do that forever, just joke around and kind of troll and shoot the crap with people, so that's another one for me that kind of shows up in all three categories. And then the fourth category is, what have you been doing for the last 10 years? So for me, that's kind of all over the place, but I've definitely been using positivity in pretty much all of my work and life. Bang! Wait.
You sure you want to get excited about that?
Boom.
Yeah. It's like,
Donnie,
that was
I
good
know
though.
you don't like Tai Lopez.
That was awesome.
Can be yourself, right, Chad? That's the thing, is you're finding that destiny that enables you to be to kind of engage with things that you already have as part of you, almost like part of your genetics. So let's rehearse it. It is what you grew up around, what other people compliment you about, stranger feedback. Has Ed ever tried yoga? Yes, he has. Not with me, but I think he has, right?
I have. Yeah, I've tried yoga.
What can you talk effortlessly about? And what have you been doing for the last 10 years? So I wrote a blog post about this on my website, and I posted it onto my Twitter right before we went live, so that you guys can go link into all of that. There's 2 free personality tests that I included in the blog post, which is the Hexaco test and the VIA character strengths personality test. They're both free, and it's all linked there, as well as a link to Tai Lopez's website, who created this 67 steps and the Eulerian Destiny. Thank you, Chadwick. So nice. Thank you. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe we're getting into the flow a little bit here now. And then once you've brainstormed stuff for each of the 4 categories, you want to find that commonality. So for me, positivity and humor is pretty much kind of interwoven all throughout that. And then you want to find multiple things and figure out how can you convey that to someone really clearly using up to 20 words. You don't want to have more than 20 words. It should be really, really clear and straightforward. So what's interesting for me is on mine, that I did October 10th in 2016, what I came up with I totally forgot about until today when I was preparing for this broadcast. And it says, infusing humor and technology into unconventional management techniques. So humor, we talked about. Technology, something that's been a big part of my life forever. I had my first AOL screen name when I was 7 years old. I was like in chat rooms, and that's always been a part of my life, is having kind of an online social community. So humor, technology, unconventional. I took that Hexaco test, and I got a 5 out of 5 unconventional, meaning I'm the least conventional person that I could be, meaning that I'm like anti-tradition. Some people are very traditional. I would be the opposite of that. I would be like basically anti-tradition. And for me, I value truth, but because the society as a whole doesn't seem to move in that direction, I'm almost always moving the opposite direction of society and kind of being at odds with a lot of generally accepted traditional ways, like the way that it's done. I tend to reject those kinds of things, so I included that in there. And then management. I've always been in management my whole life. I've always been promoted quickly into positions of management. I enjoy managing things. I enjoy managing personnel. I enjoy managing my time, my resources, and all of that. So it was only 8 words: infusing humor and technology into unconventional management techniques. So there was 4 things that I found that were pretty much a part of my life in every single one of those 4 areas. And I didn't have Ed prepare for this at all. I literally figured this out about 15 minutes before I called him. So he probably doesn't have anything like this prepared, but do you have anything that you want to say about any of this?
Nope.
I hate you.
Totally unprepared.
He's like,
why don't you throw me some specific questions about it and then I'll answer them.
Like about you? Can I ask about you?
Yeah, sure.
Like, what did you grow up around? What was it like for you growing up?
I grew up in a house full of perfection. So making mistakes was not allowed. Trying and failing was not allowed. So if you tried something, you had to succeed, or not try at all. That was kind of the mentality of my parents. And then what else? I think that's really it. I mean, that's pretty much what gives me my tics that I have now in life, where I want everything to be perfect. What I have broken away from is that I'm not afraid to try things. Obviously, I know failure is part of growth and learning now. But I was pretty much brainwashed with the idea that if you've tried and failed, you failed. And that was it. So don't do that.
Nicholas is
that
asking, was it a religious home?
No, it was it was basically like we were presented with religion, which was the Catholic religion, and we could decide if we wanted to pursue that or not. So we were exposed to it. We were told that that's what our family does, and if we wanted to participate, we were allowed to, and if we didn't have to. So we were required, like my parents, they made me go up through, in religion, I think it was confirmation, which was like the 7th level of whatever it is. And once I made that, then it was my choice if I wanted to continue with it or not. But they wanted me exposed to it. They wanted me to hear it. They wanted me to make my own decisions. So I do kind of respect that because, it let me ask a lot of questions. And when I didn't find the answers, I was able to make the choice to not follow it. So it was good.
Yeah. And so you were, as soon as you could, you were like, no more?
Pretty much. As soon as I was done, I toyed with it here and there. I got married in the Catholic Church. I mean, I have everything I need to be a Catholic, but I'm not, going to church every Sunday or even holidays. It is what it is. I kind of believe more in the science of things than I do in the religion of things. I think religion has a place, but I just think its purpose isn't exactly what, people in religion would sell you on. So.
Okay. You have a question about yoga? Okay, feel free to ask away. I have a question about Ed. It is, what is some stranger feedback? What's something that strangers always say to you all the time? This is the hardest part because it's like, well, I don't know about for you, but it can be hard to say like, oh, everyone loves my this, and they always say that I'm so smart and whatever. Like, but that's really what
I think. I think I tend to get feedback that I'm logical. So where sometimes people are afraid to say things, when they do actually say things to me and I give them my response, they're kind of like surprised that I'm just kind of like logically like okay with most things. So I think that's the feedback I would get most often.
Can you say that one more time?
Really? Yeah. Are you serious?
Well, just like I was reading comments and I kind of missed it. So just that I'm logical with my response to things. People tend to be surprised because most people are afraid to tell you things, and then when they tell you and you kind of give them the feedback of logic instead of emotion, they're kind of like, oh, that's logical. And then I guess they get comfortable immediately. So that's something I've always been good at, and I get a lot of feedback on that. So nice. It works in business really well too, because people are afraid to tell you things in business. They're afraid you're going to use it against them. And when you don't and you actually help them with it, then they're kind of relieved. So yeah. I think that's, and my awesome good looks. I get that all the time. Like strangers in parking lots, they come over and they're like, you're gorgeous. I'm like, thank you. I'm just kidding. I'm obviously kidding. It's only happened like 10 times, not my whole life. Okay. Let me just take care of something here. Hey, John. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you the third question if I can remember. Oh, what can you talk effortlessly about?
Business. Forever. Anything business related. is endless. You can talk to me for 24 hours about business, and I don't get tired of it.
I do
So
do that.
you do, and I talk to you endlessly about it. So yeah, pretty much endless business conversation. It doesn't have to be about anything specific. As long as it involves an economy or macro or microeconomics, I'm all about it. So it's all good.
Me too. Was that a part of your life growing up at all?
So interestingly enough, that there's a story behind that. My dad, he had two children. He had my sister and myself. He told my sister that she should go to school, get a job, and be successful. He told me that I should never work for anyone and that I should basically follow my dreams and do whatever I wanted. Later in life, he told me that it was a 50-50 shot. He was just wondering who would do what. So I'm like, I'm glad I got the other end of it. But yeah, I think that. Wait, what was the question? What were you talking about? I just lost my train of thought completely.
I was asking if that was part of your life growing up when you were saying.
Oh, the business. So yeah, so what ended up happening is because he put that in me so young to like look for businesses. From the time I was like 7 or 8, like I tried to create a business fixing bike tires when I was like 8. Because my dad taught me how to fix bike tires, and I'm like, okay, I'll fix my friend's bike tires and charge them $2. Stupid stuff like that. I had a video game business where I bought and sold video games. I put the flyers on telephone poles, and kids would call, and I'd go buy their games and then sell them my games from my collection. And I just would basically have this huge collection of traded games. So yeah, I mean, it was a part of my life from a very, very young age. And I don't think my dad actually thought that him telling me not to work for anybody would actually like pay off, but it really did, because I have never really worked for anybody. I've had in between jobs where I've like, we're trying to figure out the next step in my life, and I needed income, so I would take a job. But I never really worked for anybody, like ever, like, not as where I could say I was working towards a career or something. It was always just a placeholder till the next thing.
Until you came to my house and cleaned up the cash for me.
Right. And then I quit immediately. That job sucks.
He's lying. I fired him. Okay.
I was fired. Even though I was the best cash picker upper ever. Organized. I counted the cash fast. Well, whatever. That's a technicality. I was the best.
You didn't steal any money, and that was good. That was impressive.
That's a win. It's impressive. I didn't leave with any 20s. It's good.
Hi, Kieran. Who else do I see? Hi, Nikki. Hello. And John wants to know, how does he get his cooking skills?
Oh, so that's interesting. So you want that story too?
Yes. We want it all.
All right. So when I was 18, I delivered pizza for a pizza place, and I started college for business. And I decided that I could do a restaurant better than the guy I was working for. So I bought a pizza place, and I basically scrounged up a little bit of money. The guy financed some, and I borrowed some from my parents. And it wasn't a lot. I mean, my parents have no money. They basically just gave me what they had. They like refinanced their house a little bit. It was a small amount. It was like $15,000 or something. But at the time, that was a lot of money for them. So I ran a restaurant for 5 years, and that's where I got my cooking skills from. So, and it was good. I bought it it was going out of business. I bought it, made it really big, and then I sold it for a profit. And I kind of let it go because the restaurant business isn't great. So it kind of sucks. The cash was good, but the work itself wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We were making people fat and making money. It was kind of like
exactly. You're selling
I felt
pizza
bad.
and soda and like wings and yeah.
I felt bad about it.
What did you have for dinner last night?
Last night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Italian chicken and shells.
Yes, the same thing you made for us on Friday.
Same thing we kind of threw together on Friday.
Oh my God, are you stealing all my audience right now? They're all falling in love with you, especially the men.
Really? Oh, that's good. I'm going to be on Naked.
He's not getting naked.
The Naked Network. It's coming soon.
Kieran, thank you so much for the sponsorship. Kieran is our most recent silver level sponsor. I forgot too, we also got Wolverine. We added him to the group too. He's like a book. I have the worst storage in my brain. Yeah. We all have different strengths, you know. Mm-hmm. Nicholas wants to know your favorite vacation place in the world.
Oh my God. Well, so anywhere in the Bahamas, Eastern Caribbean is basically like my favorite place to go. So I also like Vegas a lot, but I haven't been there since I've had kids because it's kind of like a splurge and you can't really take them there. Well, I mean, you could, but they're young, so it's not great for them. But I used to go there a lot.
JJ, you did too? Oh my god. I think I saw that come in and then I forgot to look. Yes, I see it. I didn't actually click it though. Whoa. Wait,
Hey.
there's a bunch of stuff happening. JJ sent another $20. JJ, yes!
Whoa.
I love it. You
That's
guys pretty
awesome.
much just took off what expired off. So every 30 days, I kind of keep a running total so I know the health of my business in a 30-day snapshot. And 30 days ago, about $50 came off of our sponsorships, and you guys pretty much just made up for that today. So, oh, and Goonies wants to know, why didn't you say New Zealand?
I've never been to New Zealand, so I couldn't pick that as a spot.
Thank you for the super hearts, Kieran. And John wants to have you show him a yoga pose, and he also wants to give you all of his money.
Okay, so how much money am I getting for what yoga pose? That's the question. I'm a business person.
He wants to know how to send you all of his money. The yoga pose was a separate request.
Oh. All right, so send the money to Taylor, and then I will do the yoga pose. So which yoga pose would you like to see?
femyoga.com. Don't do it until he sends the money.
I'm stretching.
You don't know how to stretch. That's twisting.
If
You want to stretch to the side of your body, you don't twist. You just pull it like that. Yeah.
This is the second time I've been stretching on your channel.
I know. It was the same stretch too.
Same exact one.
And
I didn't move my head at all. That's good. Wait, is there a yoga pose I can do from this chair?
John said this is a scam.
What's the scam? John, get out of here.
Your yoga business. Oh, yeah, I know. He's an amateur, right? Never been to New Zealand like some kind of punk.
You know what, though? Once my kids get a little older, I plan on traveling a lot. So
yeah,
I'll come to New Zealand. I'm going to check it all out.
Let's do it. Let's go to Vegas. Let's go to New Zealand. They're both on my list.
I'm going everywhere. We're touring the world.
You guys come. Let's all go.
We'll all go.
Is that a mic in front of Ed, or does he have an incredibly long leg?
It's actually a very large mic.
Yeah, that's the same mic I have.
It's better than the old one, which isn't on this desk, or I'd show it to you.
Your microscope? Nice. That's a nice mic. It is nice. Yeah, it's a Blue Yeti.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then my last question for you is, what have you been doing the last 10 years? Well, not my last question, but just for the Eularian Destiny.
That's it, and then we're done. Thanks. Great.
Eric thinks it's something else.
Something else? What, the blue microphone? Yeah, Eric knows what
I think the current microphone.
Oh, really? You should see the blue one. He would really have fun with that one.
I assume he's sounding different because he's coming through a Google Hangouts call, so it's not as good as it would be if you were just watching him directly. It's kind of, I think there's probably an audio, cap.
Yeah, my local quality on this microphone is really good, but it's probably not transferring in the same fashion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
it's
as good as it can get.
Okay, what have you been up to for 10 years? Tell us everything.
10 years. So 10 years ago, how old was I 10 years ago? 10 years ago. All right, so I'm going to tell you a story. So 10 years ago, I was 27, and I had just decided that I was going to sell the restaurant, and I sold it, and I made a profit. But I went into real estate with no business at all, and I went from making over six figures to barely making 20 grand a year in that first year. So I felt really broke. I had some debts from the restaurant that I was clearing out because I did sell it. So that was a challenge. But at that point, exactly 10 years ago, I decided that I wanted to start building real wealth. And the reason I decided that is because when I had the restaurant, it was all cash. And I like Vegas, and I like to spend my money. And I literally blew through all of that cash the whole time that I was in that business.
I'm triggered.
No, but it's where I learned everything from, honestly. Without that moment that I had in my life, I would never have gotten to the next step. So, I needed to get out there and just kind of do what I did. And unfortunately, it was a big lesson. But basically, I created no wealth for myself. I was very successful in what I was doing, and I was making a lot of money, but I created zero wealth. And I didn't realize that until the day I sold it. And I was celebrating the sale. And then I really looked at the picture, and I'm like, I have nothing else coming in. I have no money. I'm entering a new industry. I have the money from the restaurant, but it's really, in the grand scheme of things in the world, it really wasn't much. It was maybe a year or two's worth of money at best. So that's when I realized that I really had taken the wrong approach to wealth building, and I had really wasted a lot of opportunity. So starting 10 years ago, I started the process of creating wealth through investments and properties. And, I kind of made myself a promise that when I started to make that kind of money again, that I would never spend it in that way, and that I would always be more respectful of the power of what that money was was about. And that's what I do up until this day. I mean, is really just try to put my money to work as much as possible. You know, even the little things like investing in this channel, I feel like it provides something back into the world. And maybe that just, you know, it's not a direct investment of my money, like where I'm getting a return economically, but it's almost like an emotional return. You know, we get to see other people who may not have everything they need, get a little positivity, and have the community here is awesome. So, you know, it's things like that. And it's nice to just be able to invest my money to get things out of the world. So that's pretty much where I've been for the last 10 years. So I'm really happy with.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
I just don't want to forget the last two comments were comparing you to one, Elon Musk. Zen says that you remind him of Elon Musk. And you know who that is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I love Elon Musk. The guy's a mad genius. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm as crazy or as brilliant as him, but thank you, Zen.
And then who said? Oh, Vipul says that you remind him of Richard Branson.
Branson, who's that? The Virgin Airline guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. He's creative. Also, again, a mad genius. I don't think I classify with those guys, but thank you.
John invested in hookers and got an STD on his return.
That's pretty much what you would expect as a return, John. That's a couple antibiotics and an STD. That's pretty much where you would be. See ya.
So that all kind of, I think the common thread there is business, finance, intellect, maybe.
You know, I think the common thread is that, you know, people say that money is evil and all that kind of stuff. I don't think money is evil. I think money is very powerful if you use it correctly. I think that obtaining it is kind of like a lifetime journey, and it's kind of a game. Sometimes you get lucky and you obtain more of it. Learning and knowledge and understanding how to manage it and what to do with it when you do get it is 90% of obtaining wealth. Like, because every one of you, I don't care if you're working at McDonald's right now or if you're doing something else, you're going to have an opportunity at some point to capture some money. It could be a small amount, like $5,000. It could be a large amount, like 150,000. It's going to come into your life. And if you're prepared to manage it correctly and grow it, that's really what matters. The rest of it, you know, your life's going to bring you all kinds of opportunities. So, yeah, what else we got?
I love it. John is telling me to turn my camera off because this is Ed's show now.
This is good. You ask me questions, I can answer them. I don't normally talk, but if you ask me questions, I'll answer them.
I like this. I feel good. Hi, James. Hey, Keith. And Vipul has a really good question. I love this. He said, What would be your top 3 business tips that you would give to your younger self?
Top 3 business tips.
And whatever. Let's just say 3 business. I hate the top. That's too
I don't know, because you know there's so many.
Yeah.
First and foremost, educate yourself. If you're going to get into business, make sure you understand what you're getting into. There's something I call false numbers. Most businesses have them. Most people will sell them to you. And they basically sell you an idea on fake numbers. So when you watch, I'm not trying to bash Tai Lopez, I actually really like him. But when you watch Tai Lopez sell one of those, like, we're going to make you rich and here's how you're going to make money, if you really ask about the numbers, most people can't survive in the numbers they're presenting you. The only people surviving in those numbers are the people charging $500 for that system you're buying. And there are people who will make it work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those things don't work. You absolutely can grind that out and make it work. But the reality is that the education of understanding what you're getting into is really, really important. So I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger. I bought every system in the world. I thought I was going to get rich quick. I learned very quickly and very much the hard way that there is no such thing as get rich quick. It's all get rich slow. And occasionally you get lucky. And that's really what it comes down to. So occasionally you get unlucky. So, you know, that's really my top.
Weekend. What the heck was that?
It happens, you know?
How many hands did I lose in a row? Like 20? What just happened?
Like 20. I think it was 22. I think you lost in a row.
What in the world?
No, you didn't lose 22 in a row. You lost 22 hands, but you won a few in between, but it wasn't very many. But that's just statistics. So there's another great thing though. So even in business, no matter how much you know and how good you are, there is a little bit of luck and statistical, like the world gives you a little bit in the statistical end. Like you can't just rely on your skills. Like sometimes there is luck. So when things are going bad and you have 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years of bad time, it's not always because you're not good at what you do. Sometimes it's just because that's just the way things are going right now. So being ready for that is really key. And that's like we were talking about with blackjack. Most people when they're playing blackjack, they're not ready to lose 20 hands. So they lose 20 hands and they get up and go home broke, right? But if you're playing blackjack and you're playing it well, which you do, you have a really great basic strategy, you're going to ride the next swing, and you may not get even on your next swing. Even if you bet just your standard bet over and over again, you're probably not going to get back to even, but you can make up at least half of that money back. And understanding, what you're capable of and what the math is capable of is really important. So that's one of the biggest tips for if you do like blackjack. Having a bigger bankroll isn't so you can go broke and become a, broke gambler. It's so you can, kind of weather those storms. And you have to know how big the storm can be based on the bet you're making. So, and that goes for business too. And that's why I love gambling, because business is really just gambling in your favor, where gambling in a casino is gambling in the casino's favor. But business, it's an educated risk. It's 80% in my favor 80% of the time, where at the casino it's 40% in my favor most of the time. So
right.
It's
that's why I love all in.
All in, and most business owners do go all in. It's kind of scary. But
I'm actually doing a ladies blackjack night at my house tomorrow night at 7. I think it's just going to be a few of us, like my grandma and a couple of my girlfriends, but it'll be fun. I get to teach them all how to play blackjack and try to get them addicted like you did for me. How do we become more like Ed? John wants to know.
How do you become more like me? I have no idea. Depends. How are you now?
Follow him. Start with that.
Follow me.
And also, Eric said he wants to play with your microphone.
Nice. All right, just to go with this day, my wife is calling. I need to call her back, so I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna mute this for 1 second and call her, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so just leave me.
Mute it?
I'm gonna take a pee break. I'm taking a pee break.
Okay, he's taking a pee break. Start with the hair. Oh yes, his hair. It's a whole thing. We have to definitely go talk about his hair when he comes back. Oh hey, Rescue Farm. Sorry, he just went away. Hey Amber, is that a new account? Oh, I already follow it. Oh, you just changed the name of it, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the next step. I have to do 13 push-ups anyway, because step 13. We still have about 45 minutes to go, so I'm gonna take. John said, "Oh, he has a wife. Damn it." I'm gonna do 13 push-ups because we're on step 13, and I'll be right back. That's over with. Whew. All right, let's come back in. All right, so my cat's looking at me like, what in the hell? All right, let's do step 13. We did 13 push-ups. Hopefully you did your push-ups at home too. Yes, I'm feeling the burn. I'm breathing. I'm gonna take a sip of water, and we're gonna get into step 13. Kieran! I thought we were friends! Kieran, just because you're a sponsor, you think you can demand
I'm back.
Double push-up amounts? I just did 13
did you just do push-ups?
I did.
Nice.
I did 13 push-ups on Friday the 13th.
Sweet.
Yay! And then Kieran said, drop and give me 13 more.
Oh, man.
I could barely do 13.
Yeah, but you just did 11 too. You're carrying us.
Well, that's the thing though, Ed, is I did 11 like so much easier this time, and then the last 2 were hard.
Yeah, but every week it'll get easier as it gets more.
James. Kieran just demanded push-ups now, I know. Oh yeah, Rescue Farm is saying hi to you. JB, is that you?
JB.
Jersey Broker?
Me? No. Jersey Broker? That's not me.
Jersey Broker isn't you?
No. I'm SJ Broker. Or S... I don't even know what I am.
I know, but she said... Or she, I think. Rescue... She says, I've seen JB in my scope.
JB? Who's JB?
I think it's you.
I'm
Kieran
not
does
GB.
30 a day. Well, I did 11 earlier, Kieran, so I'm up to 24 now. A year from now, I should be 13 again. Yeah, Jersey Broker. Yeah, she's talking to you.
Oh, it's South Jersey Broker. I don't know, whatever.
JB is your name now, okay? And
Okay.
John says that you have a very lavish chair.
Yeah, so this is not my office. This is actually an office of a woman who was here like last year, and it's pretty fancy.
I like it.
I should actually send this chair to you. This is a great chair. Like, it's comfortable.
Would it fit at my
No,
desk?
actually, yeah, it would fit perfectly.
You can send me that chair. You know how much that would cost? It would cost more than me just buying a new chair. It was a nice idea, though. It was a novel idea.
You know. Wait, don't I get free shipping on femyoga.com? I'll just ship you this chair through femyoga.com.
That expired last week.
All right.
James says North Jersey can suck it. Southern Justin Bieber. All right, I'm going for the deodorant. I stink. So we're on step 13. Do you want to know what it's about?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Hang on.
After you deodorant yourself.
Whew, that's better. All right. So.
Right in the middle of the broadcast. You're the only one who can smell it. We wouldn't even know. You just like
yeah, but I don't
have to deal with yourself.
Yeah. Okay, step 13.
All right.
The Amish vacation, tap dancing to work, and avoiding what you love. Very professional. I know, I am very professional. This is the most professional broadcast I've ever done, with 0 problems the entire time.
Zero problems.
Step 13 is apply deodorant. What scent? It is, I have no idea. It's Kiss My Face Sport Active Life deodorant. I don't know. It doesn't say the smell. It smells nice. Chad says he loves my grace.
You should have told me. I would have brought a stick. We could have put our deodorant on at the same time after push-ups.
What's it got in there? Oh, yeah, we should do that next time. It sounds really fun.
I'll just bring some. Next time, as soon as you go to put yours on, I'll rip mine out too.
It's got a bunch of weird stuff. Hey, it's got hops in it. Can I drink this?
Ew.
Yeah, what if I was just like, let me just take a shower really quick.
Ew. Yeah, seriously.
Active Life scent. Yeah, it smells like an Active Life. It sounds like a Monty Python sketch. That's a good one. Ew, James, I'm gonna unfollow you again. Stop.
Oh my god.
Are you seeing his comments?
Yep. They don't bother me though.
So I don't remember what the Amish vacation really meant, but I think it just basically means that your work is your vacation, that you never need to take a vacation because you enjoy your life, and that your life is your vacation.
I don't 100% agree with that, but
yeah, I don't either. Especially considering that I watched Tai, was it an ad or what was it? Oh no, you sent it to me. You sent me was it his Facebook or something of Tai saying that or Snapchat, and he was saying that he recommends getting out of the city that you live in at least once a month, getting out of the city, going to the country, go camping, get outside, go somewhere different, kind of change up the scenery. So.
And you know his story? His story is that he read some book or something when he was little about a farm. And he basically told himself that when he got to a certain point in his life, he would have a farm that he would travel to for vacation. So that's what that is all about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Nicholas. I agree with that too. So Tai actually worked on the farm with Joel Salatin, that's his name, Joel Salatin, for a long time. And Joel Salatin is actually one of the biggest opponents of Monsanto, the big genetic modification seed company with the pesticides and Roundup Ready and all that. And he's one of the biggest farmers that have kind of gone head-to-head with them, taken them to court. And because he has such a large operation, he was actually able to fight them a lot more powerfully than most any other small farmer was able to do. And Tai kind of learned a lot of the things from him. And Tai actually, so that's one thing. So he went and worked with Joel Salatin for a while, but he also went and lived with the Amish for a while. Yeah, my mentor, Joe Salatin, he talks about him a lot. But yeah, he went and lived with the Amish for a while as well, and he just learned a lot of things that he thinks are interesting, so he kind of incorporated that into this. But I just named it Tap Dance to Work, and work is vacation. I think the tap dancing to work thing, is that a, what's his name? Warren Buffett? Is that a Warren Buffett thing?
I'm not sure.
Let's look it up. Tap Dance to Work. Yeah, it's Warren Buffett. It's a book. Warren Buffett on practically everything. A Fortune magazine book. Oh, it's just like about his life or something? I don't know. Warren Buffett died?
No, Warren Buffett didn't die.
So why does it say 1966 to 2012?
No, and he's older. He's older than that too, isn't he? He's not like he's
87.
Yeah, so 1966. It would be like
maybe it's just like maybe that's when he retired, or something. Maybe it's just like his career.
Is that when he worked? Yeah, maybe he's not like he retired as the CEO.
There we go. Rescue Farm says the Amish in Pennsylvania taught her about farm life, and she uses their info every day.
That's cool.
And John wants me to move the cannons. I'm not moving the cannons till I get 20,000 super hearts. And I only have 1,300 super hearts because Ed gets no super hearts.
Hey, I get sponsorships though. Come on.
That's true. We did get a lot of sponsorships. That was awesome. Thank you, guys.
And I appreciate that because we were having a pretty rough day, and I don't usually have a bad day, so that kind of makes me happy.
I know, and I felt like I made your day bad. Like when I texted you and was like, I'm triggered, and then all of a sudden my day started going bad too, and I was like, ugh.
No, you didn't. It was already going a little rough. It was just interesting that you were triggered too.
John wants to know your thoughts on my heavy alcohol use.
Taylor doesn't have heavy alcohol use.
Thank you.
She like sips of beer. Trust me, it's not heavy.
Yes, that's true. Donna says that the Amish run a lot of puppy mills. I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, it's pretty messed up. I don't like it.
They might.
There's a pretty cool song. I feel like we should look it up and play it. Should we do that? Is that okay with you? You might not be able to hear it.
God, I want to talk about this whole taking a vacation thing because I think it's important too.
Okay, you talk about that while I look it up.
All right, because there are a lot of business owners who say they love their business, and I also, we're in sales, so like I see a lot of salespeople who are like, working 14 hours today, and they're at the office at 9 o'clock. None of that's healthy. I don't care how much you love your business, you have to detach from it at some point, because you want to look forward to going to it the next day, and part of that is not overdoing it. So, if you're going to work smart, work 9 to 5, love your job, work noon to 4 p.m. and love your job. It doesn't matter really when you work, but don't just make your whole life work. There's way too much in life to experience for work to be your only thing. Work should be how you get your cash flow so you can build your wealth, so you can experience life, which is a lot of other things besides work. So, I'm a big fan of vacations and traveling and getting away from the business for a little while. I'll also tell you that no matter how much I love my work, when I come back from vacation, my mind is the clearest that it ever is at that moment. And right about the last 2 or 3 days of vacation, I start to brainstorm in this intense manner because I'm so relaxed, so rested, and I'm so excited to get back to it. And I come back usually on fire with tons of ideas. I implement things within those next 2 weeks that are just, I would never touch if I didn't go away. So there's a lot of value in getting away from your business or your job or whatever, no matter how much you love it. So
I totally agree with that. I went to Miami not too long ago, as you know. Many of you also probably know. And I know, Donna, it's weird seeing me during the day all the time right now. And when I came back, I got so much more work done. And it was just it really energized me. And it was just that little, and I worked while I was there a little bit, but it was definitely that break. But I think also, New Jersey and New York, we don't get a lot of sunlight for this part of the year. And we're right at that peak of seasonal effectiveness disorder right before the sun starts coming back in. This is the longest part of the year where we've gone the longest without sunlight, so our actual vitamin D is low too. John, just get out. Okay, I'm gonna play the song. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. Every single day. every single day. Everybody sour like a lemon tree. I'm just smiling down upon my enemies. Do the shit I love it on a daily. Say you hate your job, but you'll never leave, never leave. But that ain't gonna be me, that ain't gonna be me. My brother called me up, said he saw me on TV. I said it wasn't easy, but right now I'm living breezy. Build this engine from the ground up, now my hands, they ain't so greasy. Feel me? Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day.
Illuminate my future bright, so thankful for everything. Rejuvenating my inner.
I need glow sticks.
That's perfect. You do need like a glow ball.
Oh, you like? Okay, let's.
They want to see you shimmy.
Shimmy, like the. It's hard. I'm in a
You
chair.
don't even know how to shimmy. What are you doing?
What are
All
you
right, we need to have a
shimmying?
shimmy lesson. Everybody, get ready.
What's a shimmy look like? All right, show me.
So you want to engage your shoulder muscles. So imagine first pulling your right shoulder, your back shoulder muscle down and back, and then your left shoulder down and back. And then if you just do that kind of like, yeah, and then you do that fast enough, it becomes shimmy. John says twerk.
Oh, not feeling that.
Like this, like twisting your ribs a little. Like you're like pulling your right shoulder blade back and down, and then twisting your left rib cage forward, and then same thing here, and then you just like do it fast. No.
Not me. I don't know.
Well, now we know how to shimmy as well. So if you found value from this content, feel free to send super hearts or support the channel at femyoga.com. Shimmy lessons are only
Send enough
$5.
sponsorships this week, and next week I'll practice my twerking on this broadcast.
And next week we'll twerk, yes. Chad said he's learning too. See, there we go. Everybody's learning. I love it. And now I don't know what he meant by the third part of his title in step 13, which is avoiding what you love. And if I recall correctly, he was saying there was some level of, you don't, like everyone always says that you want to get paid doing like your passion, the thing that you love doing so much. And I think he was kind of advising against that, because it's kind of like you're going to want to have something that you love doing outside of your work, outside of that pressure of like, this is what you do to generate income, and kind of keeping that a little bit separate. And I thought that was interesting, because you don't hear that a whole lot. I should do a dance lesson scope. I only know how to shimmy, I think. But I did actually learn that from a dance class. It was a burlesque dance class. It was really, really, really fun. One of my girlfriends asked me to do that with her, and I recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and it's all girls in the class, so you can shimmy free from perversion. How do you become a Sonam? Well, Sonam just entered the broadcast, so you can ask her. Sonam, John would like to become a Sonam, so if you could teach him, that would be awesome. Actually, Sonam, that just reminded me, seeing her. I was going to say this a little while ago, but I forgot, and I don't remember exactly what it was in regards to, something you were talking about, Ed. And me and Sonam were just talking earlier today about how you value your money more when you have to work hard for it. Whereas if it comes really quickly and easily, it's like you don't value it as much, and you don't that's what you were saying, how you learned to respect your money and respect how much work it really represents, and not just spend it as quickly as you get it. And that was kind of, we had just been talking about that too, how it's actually like when your numbers dip and you have to kind of put in that extra work, it's nice because you know you're going to appreciate the fruits of your labor so much more, because you had to put your back into it, you know.
Yeah, and when you get a large amount that comes in, because we hit a home run once in a while, on a flip or something, and we get a large amount of money, you don't look at it like a lottery ticket. You look at it like, wow, I just skipped 3 years worth of work. It's like, let me put that in the bank. I just banked 3 years of my labor. That's pretty much how you start to look at things. And it's a much better way to view it than just like, oh, here's a lottery ticket. Let's go blow this on a Corvette or something. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Get a boa. Actually, we used boas in that burlesque class. Actually, it was a lot of fun. Oh, and JJ, you have to make a new Twitter account so I can add you to the group chat now that you re-upped your silver level sponsorship. I was just remembering, because you said you don't have a Twitter account. So you need a Twitter account if you want to be in the Twitter message group, since your other one got deleted or whatever.
I'm not wearing the boa.
John says, what if I work at McDonald's and I love it?
Then
You're not wearing a boa. Why?
And you're loving it. McDonald's whole slogan is I'm loving it. So.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
See? Even your mind has it.
Yes, Ray Kroc.
There's nothing. Hey, you know what? So let me address something real fast because I think that's important. What if you're working at McDonald's and you love it? Great. You can work anywhere you want. That's the whole point of wealth building. If you spend less than you make, you can build wealth. And I actually personally know a teacher who makes 40 grand a year, which is not very much money really in the grand scheme of things. And they have over $2 million in wealth over 20 years of working as a teacher. Now that represents their ability to spend way less than they make and invest their money. And they love being a teacher and they don't want anything more out of their work, but they're really happy with what they've accumulated for their retirement.
Hell yeah, that's amazing.
So yeah, that's a big deal. To answer that question, you can do work wherever you want.
Wait, Zen, what does that mean? Zen said I would eat it.
Block. Sorry, Zen. I love you, brother, but we gotta block you.
That is hilarious. Let me see what Donna just said. Donna, I put on. Oh, thank you, Donna. That's amazing. So Donna just said this isn't related, but I really appreciate this, and I want to encourage you all to help me out this way too, if you like. McDonald's. He's gonna eat the McDonald's. That's it. Okay, that makes sense.
I actually knew that. I just told him.
Oh, I did. So
you didn't know that?
She said that when she plugs her phone in to charge it, she puts my YouTube videos on so they play, while she charges it. And I really appreciate that because if you guys are new, you might not know that I'm trying to monetize my YouTube channel. I was about to monetize it and they changed the rules, and now I need like 2,800 hours more to be watched before they'll pay me a penny for any of my content and ads and everything that are on there. So thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. It's Fem Yoga on YouTube, and the link is on my website, femyoga.com. It's also on my Twitter too if you're following me there. And Swagger says, Ed turns a troll comment into knowledge. I'm amazed.
Yeah, it's a positive mentality. Speaking of YouTube, if you go to the YouTube channel, grab a playlist and just let it run all night. If everybody did that, we'd be at 4,000 hours in like a minute.
Yeah,
So,
just grab the playlist
one
with the
time.
most videos, which I think is...
let it run.
I forget which one it is now, but if you click that, yeah, just let it run. Oh, thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, we're only at like 1,200 hours watched. And we've been, like, Ed, me, James, one of Ed's friends.
Some guy in Bangladesh.
So, yeah, we've been just trying to watch it as much as possible, and it's, like, going up, like,
seconds.
So slowly. One
like
day
an
it went
hour.
down 12 minutes. I was like, what the hell? Play it on all the library computers. It's perfect. I love it. I'll
That's
get
an
banned
awesome
from the
idea.
library in no time.
Great. I like that idea, though.
I know, I like it too, actually.
Every library in New York, put on the playlist and leave. Awesome.
We need someone who can hack into all the computers in all the libraries.
Where's Eric? Can do it.
Eric, we need you.
Come on.
Okay, I think that was it. Are you ready to do push-ups again?
Yeah, why not? I feel like I missed the last batch. How many do I have to do? 14?
14. We're on step 14. Yeah, we got about 20 minutes left before you have to go do your family thing.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
Hey, Benji.
All right. Let's see how we can get a better angle.
What is that jock strap that you have there?
This thing right here?
Yeah, what is that? Oh, it's your tie. It's your tie. We already
It's
determined
tie.
that.
I controlled it twice now, calling it a jock strap. And
It
it's
is a jock
definitely a tie. Like, if you put this on your jock, I would be amazed. I don't even know what you would do with this, to be honest with
I
you.
don't know how to put things on my jock. I don't even have a jock.
Good point. Alright. I think
Yes,
we're getting,
it
that's a
is.
pretty good push-up view.
It's a trash can, but sure.
Yeah, but that's where we're gonna go. That's where we're gonna do the push-ups. I think
Just
we're gonna
put
do
your
good
face right into the trash can.
I will. As I barf from doing 14 push-ups. Alright. Wait, is this good?
What is a jock? Move forward a little bit more. More towards the trash can. Move the trash can out of the way. There we go. Wait,
How's
come
that?
more forward, though.
I'm gonna hit the wall. All right,
Oh, you are? Don't hit the wall, but I mean, yeah.
Okay,
That's
right
good.
there.
We can see your arms at least, yeah.
That's about all the room I have here. All right, ready?
Okay, good. Yes.
Can you count?
Yes. 1. I don't know if I can count that high. 3, 4, 5, 6, fast. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, because I want to get done. I need a bell. We need like a bell to ring when we get done our push-ups.
Well, yeah, a jock could also be like a meathead, like a guy who, you know, plays football and beats up the geeks in school. That could be a jock. But another way is something. It means something else. Just look up jockstrap. I'm supposed to clap? Oh, yay, Ed! He didn't clap for me.
Woo, yeah, I did.
John says you have aggressive push-ups.
Well, that's because they had to do 14 of them.
Well, why do you have to be so aggressive?
What's an aggressive push-up?
Whatever you just did. You know, it'd be really awesome if every time you sat back down, you could sit in the exact same location you were in before. So I have to keep
You don't have to
propping
move it. I'm watching the screen. I'm okay.
No, you're not okay. You're totally not okay.
Yeah, but I can
Don't move.
readjust
No,
myself.
don't move.
I'm just looking at the screen. I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Okay,
I moved the whole camera this time.
Oh
That's
no,
why.
wait, no, but then we can see the Ed thing. No, see that
Okay.
will not do. You have to
What are you
move.
talking-
You do have to move. Move the
I'll
way
just
you're
put the
gonna
camera
move.
back where it was.
No, that's not gonna
How's that?
matter. That's fine.
Well, just
It's
tell
not
me
that
where
big
you
of a
want
deal. If you scooch a little, it would help my OCD, but I'm not
Which
a
one's
cheater.
that
I
for?
did my push-ups. We do alternating steps. I
Yeah,
did
no, we
11
take
and
turns.
13. He did 12 and 14.
This is a team game.
Oh my god, Nick looked up jockstrap. Jockstrap means...
Oh my god.
Oh, I can't actually scroll back and see the Eggbot comments, so you're off the hook. I definitely said the word penis, I do have to say.
You did? When did you say that?
What? No, the definition of jockstrap had the word penis in it. For obvious reasons. Did you just freeze on penis? That was weird. I don't like that.
I'm gonna block you.
It just like shut him down.
I was just gonna try to block you on the.
He was like,
Oh, thing. Man,
oh,
my
God.
computer malfunctioned.
Oh my god, OBS just disconnected again.
Oh god, I hope it's looping on us saying penis over and over again. That would be.
Oh my god.
That's priceless. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening right now. Everybody's watching the loop. It's like penis, penis.
We're reconnected and now you're just
That's
saying
I'm just saying it over and over again. On my screen, it's still looping. So it's
sweating.
fine.
I knew 2 hours was a horrible idea.
This was a great idea.
And Sodom
Because
just comes in and just comments, penis, penis.
we spent 40 minutes troubleshooting, so it's fine.
That's true. We have about
We got
20
through one
minutes
step.
left.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Oh yeah, we're on step 14 now, right? Okay, so
Yep.
Ty's name for step 14 is the Shaolin monk and touching an electric fence.
That's interesting.
I don't even know what that means, honestly. But what I called it was prepare for everything. Assume you're missing or forgetting something.
Prepare for everything. Assume you're missing something.
Yeah, so like when you're leaving your house, you don't just assume that you got everything. You assume that you didn't. Like you assume that you forgot something. So, like, all right, what am I forgetting? You know, that question.
So, sounds stressful.
Rather than being like, all right, I got everything, let's go. You're like, okay, what are we forgetting? I do that before I travel, and I ask my husband, I usually go, okay, what am I forgetting? And he'll just like say random things like toothbrush,
So-
underwear, Q-tips.
If I had done that, I wouldn't have forgot my laptop today, and we'd be in much different shape.
See?
So,
That's true.
I'm pretty sure I forgot my laptop for that reason.
Yeah, so we could use it as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It was,
What are we
it was
forgetting?
Perfect. No.
No,
No,
I don't think
we're
so.
good.
Don't forget your jockstrap.
Forget this.
I like how he says, "Don't forget your jockstrap, Taylor." Like what?
Yeah, Taylor. There you go.
Hey, look, Esteban. Oh no, that's Steven, right? Yeah, no. Okay. What would your Spanish name be? Eduardo? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Eduardo. Eduardo.
That just puts you on edge, though. No, it doesn't put you on edge. It makes sure that you don't forget things. So you're not like thinking like, oh, I'm definitely forgetting something. You just say like, okay, you're just trying to make sure that you're not forgetting anything. Because if you've ever forgotten something, which you probably have because you're human, and you forget things, then just ask yourself, what am I forgetting?
You're just kind of triggering your brain to think about it better.
Hi, Tim. It's a very large strap. Oh my god. I can't.
Last week There's a microphone, now it's a tie. I don't know what we're doing here.
And prepare for everything. So actually, we can talk about this a little. We've been working a lot on our businesses with building systems, as recommended in this book that we both quite enjoyed reading, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Great book. If you have a small business, read that book. 100%.
I'm going to leave it up so you guys can grab a screenshot. Ed just stares at it silently.
I love it. I was just enjoying it. I'm just enjoying it.
You're just like, it's so nice.
I'm admiring it.
It says The E-Myth, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. So we've been building systems for our processes. So whatever we do, like for me, going live. Actually, I just sent this to Sonam yesterday. So I had to write out my process of what I do when I go live. How do I set up Twitch and YouTube and Periscope and OBS and the sponsor list and split screens or a whole, I don't even have that system written out yet, but there is an actual system for everything you do. But when you're a sole entrepreneur, a sole proprietor, and you kind of do everything yourself when you're first starting a business, you forget to document anything, and then that makes it really hard to expand your team or delegate any tasks, because it's really, you have to now take all of your time to train someone exactly how to do something, because you don't have a system that you can just give them, like either a video, training, or a written list, a checklist, whatever it may be, so that you can kind of just have a system. This is the way it's done, and provide it to a new person, or you can assign a new task to someone who's already in your organization, and now you can just give them the system, and they can ask you if they have questions about it, or you can have like a quick little meeting afterwards to kind of just make sure everything, maybe watch them perform the task once or something like that. And it just makes it a lot easier to make sure that you're prepared for everything, like your own sickness, or when you go away unexpectedly, like let's say someone else's sickness or an emergency that you have to up and fly to Florida for a family funeral or something. I mean, you just don't know. So I feel like I should knock on wood after that, because I don't want anyone to have to do that. I don't really believe in knocking on wood, but I hope no one dies. And so that's what it's talking about, prepare for everything. And I think that's something cool that we're doing in our businesses, to try to be prepared for anything that may come.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's true, Nicholas. Do you have anything else you want to say about systems or processes or this book?
No, I think you mainly covered it. I think as I became more aware of the systems, I've been looking at other businesses, and I've noticed a lot of them really don't have any. So if you have a business, start working on it, because it's the only real way to scale a business, to make it so it's not a headache.
Yes.
Because if you're other business owners who are very successful and they're like, my business is a headache, it needs me all the time, that's a lack of systems. It's a lack of organizational charts and strategic objectives and all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, in the company that I worked for, I worked there 6 years, and they were just turned 21, 22 when I left, and they're still operating now. And there was no training program for anyone. So every time a new person came on, either the owners themselves or one of us who knew how to do the job would have to take our time away to teach them how to do it. And then they would basically make their own notes on what they thought was important to remember, or we'd just print out screenshots as we were doing things, and you just have 50 screenshots from each page, and you just highlight the one button that they have to push. And this wasn't then we take that and create a training manual off of that. No, that person quits, that thing is vanished, who knows what happened to it. It's there's not even job descriptions, there was no management, it was just owners and then the people who worked there. So they were they're basically on call 24/7, both the husband and wife that owned it. They had no way to get out of working in the business, so they spent what it seemed to me almost no time working on the business. So if you think of working in your business, for me, right now I'm working in the business. I guess in a little bit of a way, since what we're talking about a little bit could be working on my business very, very slightly. But typically right now I'm going live, I'm a content creator, I'm providing content. I'm not working on my business. I'm not checking the new resumes that came in for content creators, which you can see on the website if you click job listings. recommend good content creators. We're trying to grow the channel. I do use my hands a lot. I know. I'm working on that. That's why I got this book. The Power of Concentration. It's going to teach me how to not move my body so much because it's not necessary. How am I going to get all my books to stay standing up? I need those bookend things.
I was just going to say get a bookend.
Yeah, or a lot more books.
Or more books. Good.
Okay, Nicholas, maybe, yeah. We could do that, for sure. For sure. Cool ideas. I like it. So if you're a business owner, it's important to make sure you spend a good amount of time working on your business rather than in the business, and to free up those things that are really your power and your income. Oh, Ed, were you in there the other day when we were reading Atlas Shrugged, and she was talking about how like the person who has the ideas is the person who will never, no matter how many millions they make, they're never going to get paid what that idea really was worth to the world. And then the person who gets paid like minimum wage is still getting paid more than what they're really worth, considering they're just like doing the task as opposed to actually solving the problem and having the idea. Do you have a Lamborghini and bookshelves in your garage?
Not yet.
Not yet. Nicholas asked what your favorite car was, and he suggested that you say Tesla, and you do have that Tesla Roadster on your goals list.
So my favorite car right now, though, is a McLaren. I really, really like the McLaren. It looks good.
Right now? So it hasn't always been your favorite car?
No, I liked the Corvette like 2 years ago. I liked the Tesla like 6 months ago, and now I like the McLaren. As my goals increase, so do my car choices. That keeps me from actually spending the money on one. As soon as my income level increases, I increase the car goal, so I never actually buy one. It's perfect.
There we go. It's great. I like it because then I don't have to be triggered. Yes, I just wanted to say. And I'm going to give away one of these books because I have 2 copies, so I'm going to give away 1 copy sometime soon. Do you test drive cars a lot? Tim wants to know.
No, I don't test drive cars.
I don't know. I'm just reading the questions. I don't know where they're coming from. What does Ed drive right now?
I have a Jeep Cherokee. It's an SUV.
Giant. It's gigantic. You could get lost in there.
Yep, it's all black.
Zen likes his car. That's good. I like my car too. My car's cooler than Ed's.
No, it's not. Is it? It might be. I don't know.
No, definitely not.
No.
All right. What year is your car?
2016.
Yeah, yours is definitely cooler
Seven.
than mine.
17.
Except mine's paid off with Super Hearts. Ha.
Yeah, mine's a lease. I rent it. I don't know.
Yours is a lease? I'm super triggered. Oh my gosh, somebody put up the trigger alert. The trigger flag has been activated.
Let's talk about the cars.
Let's talk about this. This is going to be the last thing we talk about because you have to leave in 10 minutes. Hi,
Yeah,
Anthony.
you know, more like 5 minutes. I gotta get out of here because I have to get out of here physically.
Let's talk about leasing a car.
All right. So do you want to know the reason why I lease a car? I know the reason why people buy a car and keep it forever.
Okay.
It's a depreciating asset. So obviously you don't want to spend money on it. But for me, a car is an expense. So like I have a monthly expense for a car. The reliability of the car, knowing that it's always the newest thing and I don't have to worry about it breaking down, and it just makes sense for me, like in my life. It doesn't stress me out to have a new car, and I kind of have that calculated into my expenses. I don't look at it as a wealth thing. Like if I look at my car, I'm not like, oh, that's an asset. I know my car is a straight expense. But I also look at the house I live in as a straight expense. The taxes, the insurance, all that stuff. I don't gain any real wealth out of owning a home. Like people are tricked into thinking the home you own actually accumulates wealth for you, but to some extent you spend a lot on your house over the years that you own it. And if you really added up everything you spent on your house over the years that you owned it, you would find that it was a pretty big expense. There's a little bit of an asset to it, but after taxes, and just the taxes alone, like in New Jersey, we pay, I don't know, $13,000 a year in taxes for our house. So live in it for 10 years. I just spent $130,000 on my house. Even if I made $130,000, I just gave it to taxes and I didn't even repair or upgrade it yet. So the house you live in is generally not 100% an asset, but it's a false asset, as I like to call it. So I try not to trick myself on certain things. There are expenses in life, and if you're going to do certain things in life, you need reliable things. And
I love Sonam's question. She just asked, isn't that what Tai does?
What's that?
Leases
Rents.
everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. Probably for some of the same reasons. It really is like you'll find more. There are some people. There are wealthy people who believe that you buy a car and keep it for 20 years, and there are wealthy people who believe that you trade your car in every 2 years because it's part of not worrying. I'm a big fan, and Taylor knows, like I'm a big fan of comfort in life, meaning if I can provide myself comfort at expense, that expense gets calculated into my income, and then certain things I don't have to worry about. Like getting my house cleaned or doing laundry or, just the basic things. Like even to the point that I have a trainer at the gym. Like, I mean, these are things that I would never do that improve the quality of my life, and they are a small expense. But when you're making money and running a business, you need to stay, you need to stay as grounded and focused as possible. And if you think about life, I mean, anybody in here can tell you how many times in a day are you agitated by one of the things I just mentioned: your old car, your house, your laundry, your cleaning.
My car
those
isn't
are
old.
No, not yours personally. I'm just saying
But
other
it kind
people
of
can.
is. I think it's a
People can
2012.
But that's not really old though. That's only 5 years old. I'm talking about like there are people driving 12-year-old cars that are breaking down every couple of months.
Well,
Their
that's the thing, though.
aggravation.
But if you have it paid off, then if you have some issue with it, then you can just sell it, and then you get all of that money towards your next car.
You could, but realistically, you're dealing with the aggravation of that in that moment. So for me
Yeah.
personally, like if my car broke down in the middle of the day when I was out driving around doing appointments and trying to get to my next big payoff, I would be extremely frustrated with my day. In fact, I might even lose money that day. I might have to reschedule that appointment. I might lose that business because my car broke down. And for $500 a month, which is what a lease costs on average, if you're just getting like a standard, I'm not driving anything crazy. I'm not saying go out and buy like a $2,000 a month lease, but that is an assurance to me that is invaluable. Like I don't want to break down. I don't want to ever have to experience that. I just want to trade my car in. I'm at the point now where I go, to get a new car, I basically call the dealership and say, hey, pick out something new similar to what I had that's similar in price. They have it ready when I get there, and I drop off my car and pick up the new one. It's just about time. The time in my life is the most valuable thing to me. So
I get it. I get where you're coming from. As long as you have a reliable car, I still think that what I'm doing is better. I have two things, because I know he really has to leave. One is that the heated seats were awesome in that car.
Really cool, right? Nice and comfortable in the winter. It keeps your trigger down. You get in the car, you're hot. You're like, ready to go.
And then two is that you do not say the first L in the word calculate. Have you ever noticed that before?
Calculate?
You
No,
say
I
calculate.
don't say. Yeah, I skip a lot of things. I'm about efficiency, so I cut corners.
He's like, you know what
anywhere
I
I
meant.
can.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah, if I can cut it, I'll cut it.
So I have about, I think, like 12 minutes left of content today, you guys. So chances are pretty good I won't be back on for a 12-minute scope today. I'll just add it to tomorrow's content on Saturday. And I'm going to be doing Blackjack Night tomorrow, so I'm thinking about maybe scoping a little bit of that, but I am going to try to get my content done earlier than that. I want to read more of Nudge. It's on the floor. Read more books, and I want to start working with potentially one of these two programs. One, Sonam got me, and one is a consulting kind of program that I got from Sam Ovens, and I think I want to start going through like a daily, we haven't done like a 30-day challenge in a while. Neither of these are 30 days, but they're like daily check-in type content. So I'm thinking about maybe starting something like that with you guys pretty soon, too. John says, I need my 12 minutes. You're scamming us just like Tai. Oh, God, that's great. It's actually 11 minutes now.
And Taylor will make it up for you tomorrow. Guaranteed. You'll have 3 hours and 11 minutes, and she'll probably even go over.
Not to mention yesterday I did an extra hour plus.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you're
I do it all the
over.
time.
You're always over.
It's all good. It's Friday the 13th and my day has been kind of like, what the hell? So I probably won't be back just because it doesn't make for great content. But if I feel inspired, I will be back. Otherwise, I'll definitely be back for at least 3 hours of content. Tomorrow, Saturday, April 14th, 2018, as long as I don't die or end up in the hospital. Ed, thank you for your time. You're awesome. Are you commenting again so people can follow you? There you are. Oh, you're talking to Anthony? Well, that's Ed right there in red. So you can, Ed in red. You can follow him and learn all of the awesome knowledge. And are you ready for your screenshot?
I'm never ready for this.
I know you're never ready for it. Hang on.
Is that the right side?
I'm running it. Please remember to check out the website, femyoga.com. This channel is 100% funded by viewers just like you. Thank you so much for making this show possible, and I hope to see you back tomorrow. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor and Ed. Oh, thank you, Nicola. Oh, wait, hang on. It didn't come up. There we go. Now it's playing. Thank you, Nicholas. Oh, Anthony, nothing will ever happen. I will live forever. I love that. I love that idea. Okay, get ready. Ed, go.
I'm ready.